always feels good, but what feels better is knowing when to take profits. We're gonna really dive into all this stuff, play a couple songs. You already know the drill. Let's like and repost the stream. Good seeing y'all, baby. Let's get to it.
Open up the screen, blocks of color, living stream. Every wallet, every dream, plug into the same bright beam. Orders in the air, I can feel the ledger sweat. Every number, every share stays exactly how you care. From the cold night staring at a chart alone, to 1,000 voices on a single note. I was chasing signals on a borrowed road. Now the keys sit heavy in my private code. This is Novex, I own my move. On-chain heart with something to prove. Cross-chain doors, I'm breaking through. I choose my risk, I ride my truth. This is Novex, I hold my faith. Set my price, I calibrate. Future in my hands, I won't hesitate. Novex, I elevate. Every fill is clear, every spread laid crystal here. No more shadows, no more fear, just the math and people near. Swapping worlds in one, bridge a market, tap and done. Every cycle, every run feels like standing in the sun. Used to chase a rumor and a flashing light. Now I read the pattern in the chain by night. If the rules bend, we can make them right. Every wallet is a signal in a shared new ride. This is Novex, I own my move. On-chain heart with something to prove. Cross-chain doors, I'm breaking through. I choose my risk, I ride my truth. This is Novex, I hold my faith. Set my price, I calibrate. The future in my hands, I won't hesitate. Novex, I elevate.
They don't understand discipline till they meet clutch. Forest quiet, mind louder than Wall Street moon.
Get that discipline, everybody.
Trey talk live, truth no cap. CME gap, we wait no nap. Force Wi-Fi, but a single exact. Quant so clean, every candle react. He'll tell you the bang, not the drain. Give you the numbers, not the meme. Coming in clutch, that's the team. Portrait the code, mind supreme. Clutch in the woods, laptop glow. Chickens out back, alpha in the snow. He raises what he eats, that's code and crow. Kills them clean, burritos on go. Got a quant mind sharp like a guillotine. CME gap, feel routine. He don't chase green, he measure the mean. Markets bleed, he wipe it clean. Whispers of trays like war drum chants. Whole block watch like his finance dance. If he can't stomach truth, stay off the call. He'll break your delusions 1/5 at a time, y'all.
Trey talk live, truth no cap. CME gap, we wait no nap. Force Wi-Fi, but a single exact. Quant so clean, every candle a drink. Give you the pain, not the drink. Give you the numbers, not the meme. Coming in clutch, that's the team. Portrait the code, mind supreme.
Yeah, I coast, but I rugged raw. Chaos theory, that's cave law. Data in my beard, shadows in my file. Rug your heart just to test your style. Block, don't talk, I just measure decay. CME gap like a debt we pay. Charge don't lie, but the crowd might sway. If clutch call silence, I obey. In the forest, plotting ticks and traps. Sunset red like liquidation maps. Alpha so deep it come and collapse, but real ones wait, no panic slaps.
Coming in clutch where logic meets life. Where burritos and basis points both cut like knives. Where truth hurts more than the chart itself. But pain just proves that you're playing with well.
Trey talk live, truth no cap. CME gap, we wait no nap. Force Wi-Fi, but the single exact. Quant so clean, every candle react. He'll tell you the pain, not the drain. Give you the numbers, not the main. Coming in clutch, that's the team. Portrait to code, mind supreme. Trey talk.
Winning clutch.
Tears down. Force Wi-Fi.
Winning clutch.
Trey talk. Trey talk. Trey talk. Trey talk.
No Trey Talk comes in clutch for y'all, baby.
Trey Talk Live, truth, no cap. CME gap, we wait,
Sometimes
no
we wait
nap.
on the uni drop.
Forest Wi-Fi, with the signal exact. Quant so clean, every candle react.
He'll tell you the pain, not the dream. Give you the numbers, not the mean. Coming in clutch, that's the team. Punch out the cold, mind supreme.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Trey Talk, powered by Novex Finance. Today, we are going to breeze through the show, as what we really want to do is figure out what the market is going to tell us next. We still got a small topic for y'all. There's only a couple of us up here. I keep telling y'all, they keep dropping like flies. Every bear market, we see it. Our spaces, our streams, they go from thousands and thousands of people to several hundred. Our stages goes from 15, 20, 30 people rotating throughout the space to we'll be lucky if we get a handful. The reality is this market is not for most crypto traders because they're not real. What they are is a bunch of degenerates with a whole bunch of hopium, and they keep going back to their same ways. It's all about the next crap token. It's all about the next what? Coin flip. Not here. Not the way we roll, baby. Speaking of coin flips, Andrew lost a coin flip about 5 years ago, and he got stuck with having to stream. It's in his contract. We included it there in the revision and, the renewal. Andrew, I bet you wish you would have picked tails this time, don't you?
Never again am I coin flipping for years of streaming. that turned into a bigger commitment than I thought it could be. but we're committed, we're dedicated, we're here to win, guys. That's why we keep showing up. That's why we do this, and that's why we make it fun. But yeah, just give me 1 second. I'm retweeting this. I forgot. You know, we got to repost this out on our pages now. So
Oh yeah.
make sure you guys are retweeting, hitting the comments, all that stuff. But guys, this is Trade Talk powered by Novex Finance. If this is your first time here, welcome. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys are following, liking, subscribing, wherever you're tuning in from. Make sure you engage with this. Tell us what you want to learn. You don't want to miss this, man. These episodes are where we get down and get to the money. You know, trading crypto, it a lot of downtime. So, we stream a lot of poker, we stream video games, I stream a little bit of chess, but these Trade Talk episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, they are how we get to the money, baby. So, the way these go down is, today's going to be a quick one, but, we do a quick check-in topic, keeps us ahead of the market, keeps a pulse on everything, throw it around, see how everybody's doing. It's here, and we only got a couple of us here today, but and then we'll throw it over to Clutch. He's gonna look at the charts. He's gonna tell us what he's seeing. He's gonna give a range for the weekend. He's gonna give a direction for the weekend. We'll try to call a trade of the show. We've been looking at, man. We've been talking about Uniswap and the TG a little bit, but guys, let me throw out my check-in topic. I want to tell you guys about Novex Finance real quick, and then we'll get into it. So the check-in topic of today, let me get my notes up real quick. It's kind of an easy one, but I just want to make sure I got my numbers right on it. But the check-in topic for today, we're going to talk about governments and Bitcoin a little bit. Globally, governments now hold 646,681 Bitcoin. And here are the top holders. The U.S., they hold 328,000 Bitcoin. And there's a little bit of change in there too, but 328,000 for rounders. China, they hold 190,000 Bitcoin. And then our boy Alex over at the UK, they're holding 61K Bitcoin, 61,000 Bitcoin. So I'm wondering, what do you guys think the top three government Bitcoin holders going to look like in 5 years? Who do you think it's going to be? And how much Bitcoin are these governments going to hold? And here's a little caveat to the conversation. Just yesterday, the Congress of Brazil passed legislation allowing them to buy up to 1 million Bitcoin. Where's the money come from? I don't know, but they're planning on buying it somehow, some way, they say. But yeah, guys, we'll talk about this for a second, and then we'll get into the charts a little bit. But guys, let me tell you about Trade Talk real quick. Let me tell you about Novex real quick. Novex Finance is the people's exchange. It was built by traders for traders. Me, Clutch, the homie Ghost. We've had partnerships with all the major exchanges, and there's a lot of stuff we liked about them, and there was some stuff we didn't. But the big thing we've always agreed on is not your keys, not your cheese. So that's why we've always gone DEXs, decentralized exchanges, and that's why we launched Novex. So when we launched Novex, we took everything we had loved from all these other exchanges we worked with, threw out everything we didn't like about them, and made Novex the greatest exchange to trade on. But what I think makes Novex particularly great is, as a whole, the traders on the platform are profitable, and that's not heard of. You don't hear about that on any other exchange, and the reason being is we give you guys all this knowledge on Trade Talk every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. So like I said, make sure you're subscribing, tuning in, sharing, so your friends can get in too. But also, more importantly, the alpha is jump in the Telegram, the Novex Telegram. That's where the real alpha goes down. We give all the hand holding. Clutch is dropping trades. Ghost is dropping trades. I drop a little bit of alpha in there, and that's how we make sure everybody prints money. So get in there, say what's up, and let's run it up, baby. But let's get into this combo today, man. Let's talk about it. So globally, governments are holding, about 650,000 Bitcoin. The United States holds a little over 300,000. China holds a little over 190,000. And UK holds about 61,000. in Brazil saying they're going to buy 1 million Bitcoin. So in 5 years, what do you guys think the top three is going to look like? Is it still going to be China, US, and UK? Is somebody going to bust in, and how much are they going to be holding? But I saw we had the homie Kua here first. I got to start with Kua before we go over to the UK, and we got Massimo here. But Kua, how you doing? Did we lose Kua? We lost Kua. We got Massimo in here though. I'm gonna start with Massimo then, I guess. Massimo, how you doing, bro? And what do you think about these governments buying Bitcoin?
Good morning, fam. I mean, look, at the end of the day, anytime a government entity is, relaxing their stance on crypto and buying it, I mean, it's bullish, right? The real question is though, excuse me, is there something going on behind the scenes, right? Like, but like Harvard, right? These universities, everyone, finally got excited that some of these institutions were freaking, loading up on crypto, and they ended up just being exit liquidity. So, the real question is that, is this going to, when are they going to be purchasing, right? Are they going to be waiting for bottoms to, actually help, initiate the return or the run, or is it just going to be end up being used as exit liquidity and not changing anything with the direction at all? So, I mean, that's honestly kind of where my mind is. Like I said, it's bullish. As obviously as a whole for the total market cap of crypto, but not if it's about to get freaking dumped on as soon as it's as soon as the liquidity is injected. So I guess it's one of those situations where we'll see. It doesn't necessarily change my plan or where I'm at. At the end of the day, I'm still shorting all these fake pops, and I just don't think that with everything reviewed, everything that we know with the state of of crypto and the total market cap, and you and Clutch always say, where's the money coming from? Where's the money coming from? Well, governments loading up on Bitcoin, like I said, are certainly bullish, but not if it's just going to be sold off into it immediately and bag held. But that's probably what will happen. They probably won't wait for the bottom and start off their crypto journey 20% red. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Personally, I want to see that liquidity gets entered into the total crypto market cap, and then from there we'd love to see what opportunity presents itself for folks who are going to try and take advantage of that in order to benefit themselves.
Do you think that anybody is going to dethrone China, the US, or the UK from the top three of government holders?
I mean, where the hell they can get the money to do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe if like all of Europe joined together, sure. But no, I mean, this isn't a European Union versus the US versus China thing. Like at the end of the day, no, I don't possibly see. But I would love for countries to start trying to compete.
Bitcoin space race is going to be starting. We're almost there. Like, good to hear from you this morning, Massimo. I missed Motivation You yesterday, but I'm sure you had a banger episode. I'm gonna go catch the replay a little bit later. I saw it this morning a little bit, but
Yes,
yeah,
I
man.
appreciate it.
Make sure you guys are tuning in for that. Always good to hear from you, bro. Let's check in with Alex across the pond over in the UK. Alex, man, what do you think about these governments buying Bitcoin? You think anybody is gonna knock at China, the United States, or the UK out of the top three holders?
I was hearing like one of the Indonesian countries have like maybe the Sultan of Brunei's like been stacking fucking shitloads. I don't know if it's going to be their government, but I'm sure like These people are obviously picking up fucking loads, man. Obviously El Salvador and all that. Uh, but whether they beat the fucking, the big three now, maybe you never know, man. Like Brazil seems to be fucking bullish, and yeah. But I wouldn't put it past Trump to make sure that that America's got the biggest reserve of Bitcoin compared to anybody else as possible. Man.
So I think Brunei actually was on the list, and they hold like 5,000 Bitcoin or something like that. They're one of the notable mentioned ones.
Yeah, I knew that they were close up there. But is that the Sultan or is that the state?
I think that was the actual state. I could be mistaken though.
Mhm. Nice.
Yeah, I want to say it was like 5,400 actually was the change. That they got 400 and change in Bitcoin. That's pretty. That's a pretty nice lifestyle you're living. When you're like, oh, we're extra 400 Bitcoin at which wallet? Good to hear from you, Alex. Well, I know we're going to do a quick episode today, so we're going to go ahead and kick it over to Clutch, man. You got any thoughts, man? You think anybody's going to knock U.S., China, UK out of the top three, and what's going on the charts, bro?
I mean, top three of what, dude? My bad. Didn't I missed the topic?
Oh, no worries. It's just the top three holders in governments are the United States, who holds 328,000 Bitcoin. China holds 190,000 Bitcoin, and the UK holds 61,000 Bitcoin. Brazil passed legislation in their Congress saying they're going to buy up to 1 million Bitcoin. We don't know where the money's coming from, but
Right.
they say they're going to buy up to 1 million. Do you do you think anybody's gonna be able to knock China, the U.S. or UK out of the top three here in like the next 5 years or so?
Well, the UK keeps stabbing people, so less people keep coming to this world, right? They're eliminating more in the form of their liberal, stuff as well. Americans are having less and less babies, more and more gays coming out of America. The reality is that America's system is based off of how many more people are born here, so they can sell a note and receiving access to the Ponzi, right? They're the ones that print the money through the Federal Reserve, not America, but it's an extension of America. And they're also an extension of, it's funny, those that you're saying, right? The UK is really the main puppeteer, or the puppet master, I should say, and America and China are just playing the game. The smartest ones are those that never gets their hands dirty. And last time I checked, in a massive war, I mean, UK sent soldiers and ships, but did they to the same level that America does and did? Of course not. Those fools are soft hands. They don't even have guns in their countries. They don't need it because America has it. So to me, it's interesting, those top three, right? Because we know China, they're just trying to compete with America. But I think that's a big sign into like what really is going on, into a lot of the things that we talk about here, Andrew. There's no reason why the UK should be third. Per capita, they're poor. Per capita, they're very mixed now, right? Like they're just not even the British people anymore. It's like 50% refugees now. So like their whole system is just broken, but yet it's one of the healthiest. Hmm? Come again? Alex? Am I confused here? Right? Like, am I saying anything here that's not accurate about England current state?
We're good over here, man. Over in America, you got 7 times the amount of knife crime compared to us, man. So
Bro,
I
knife crime,
don't
of
know.
course, we got more people than y'all, dude. Of course, there's going to be
No,
seven
no, per
times more. And
capita.
there's people that live in
Per
St. Louis
capita.
still.
Oh yeah,
On the
yeah. Those motherfuckers.
if we get rid of 5 cities, okay, pick a city in Alabama, pick a city in Florida, get rid of St. Louis, get rid of Chicago, and get rid of Memphis. You get rid of those just two random places in Alabama, probably like near Mobile or something, and you just get rid of most of the knife crimes in the country. So look, man, all I'm saying, bro, is none of these countries really have anything that they have other than kind of what people are used to. America doesn't have money. Where do we have money? We're so far negative, it's disgusting. China, same thing. Everyone owes them money. Everyone has goods and or a military. Is that enough to buy you Bitcoin? I thought Satoshi changed it so that wasn't enough. Why are we still being able to buy a currency that was created to revolutionize the world with the same currency that supposedly Satoshi tried to stop? It's topics like this, Andrew, that has taken me down the rabbit hole over the last few years. Good job on this topic. But this has helped me realize why I think some of the things that I think and why I don't think Satoshi's actually a good character. That's my take on this. Bitcoin is a frickin' Ponzi because you get to buy it with something fake, something that doesn't exist. Money is not real.
Well, yeah, it's just
Once
numbers on the screen,
Bitcoin,
man.
What's up?
what about once Bitcoin gets traded for gold
Now I'm bullish. Bro,
or
if it was
oil?
pegged to the bullish, if it was pegged to lead, why lead, Andrew? You know what I'm
Why
saying?
let?
Why lead? Because of the freaking bullets, right? If it was pegged to the Nvidia chips, bro, I wish Nvidia said, "Hey guys, clearly we're where we're at because of Bitcoin and the mining system. Let's just sell. We're just gonna liquidate all our company, convert it into Bitcoin. We are now the liquidity providers for Bitcoin in the world. No more US dollar, right? Like that's wouldn't happen, but that's kind of my point, bro. I'm so extremely bearish on institutions destroying and taking over our financial freedom. We came to crypto for that. They followed us here years later and they're taking it away. So I'm good. I've been here for a while. Your class of 17, been here longer than me. You're fine. Alexis, how far what year, what class of crypto are you, Alex? What year did you come in?
500 BC.
This freaking guy, dude. Okay. He's been here since the creation of Western civilization, guys. Anyways, look, I can't be bullish on something that can be so easily manipulated. Does that kind of make sense? We're way past that now. It was my biggest fear with institutional flows coming into the space. And here's my next fear, Andrew, which was confirmed. Retail didn't dump their bags on market makers. They kept thinking the top was coming. The top was coming. It's the same thing the devil tells people, hey, God is great, God is real. Just worship him tomorrow. It's no different here. Everyone thought tomorrow was coming, and now everyone's down bad. Imagine if retail had cheated. We caused the panic dump. Institutions wouldn't be able to buy Bitcoin at these levels. They would have been buying it at the 70, 80, 90K range, right? 75 plus. Instead, we sold, we didn't sell, sorry, retail didn't sell. And then you get the big old correction, and then we sell the bottom as they pump it. And what we sold the bottom realized some gains because we're good. I've been riding this forever, right? So you buy again because you're like, yo, these are just profits. I'm going to buy again. And then you buy again. And then you realize that was only the first leg of the bear market. It's bad. It's secular. But Andrew, I'm seeing nothing different. Every bull market and bear market, we should become more savvy as regulars, as retail navigates through this space, as the big money comes to enter. We should be maximizing our positions, increasing our positions, bear market over bear market, which a lot of us have, but we aren't the freaking rule. We're the exception. People are getting destroyed. Portfolios are wrecked across the board. I was looking, doing some P&L analysis on my own port, and I was like, yo, it's been a great run. And then I started kind of looking into like where I could have done better in comparison to like other pockets. And the only other areas that I could have done better is if I was a freaking insider on insider plays. So I nailed not chasing FOMO and just giving out all kinds of liquidity at the wrong spots. I did, however, lose in some spots, like, for example, the clutch token being on Solana has been down 75% just simply because of the market, right? So, like that, if there was a mistake that could have been, bettered off right there, is front run the dump, let the dump happen, and then we just ape all that stables back into Solana at these lower levels. It would have taken a whole community to do it, but as you know, in crypto, communities don't sell together; they won't buy together. It's just not how it works. So then that got me thinking, just like, dude, and it's funny you say this topic because I was looking at like the top entities and who's really making the money. And it really comes down to these big institutions that are tied to some market makers. And then you have CZ with Binance wrecking people. He's like the FTX of the cycle. You got BlackRock just destroying people like Michael Saylor. You know what I'm saying? And just destroying people like Harvard, and just like the way they're freaking doing it is insane, right? And then who's the third one? We don't know. It's kind of China. It's kind of like whoever it wants to be, really. But it lines up with what I've been thinking, dude. So it's pretty insane. Pretty insane topic, if I'm being honest. Just simply because it ties a lot of things together.
Super true. Well, let's look at these charts.
Let's do it. All right. So, coin market cap. The health of the market is always what we want to look at first. And here we look at something that's decent. Okay. The market cap of crypto. We were hovering towards underneath 2.2. Here we are heading towards 2.4. It's very important that we get above 2.55. That's the number to look out for. I don't have time to go through everything today. I almost didn't even feel like doing the show. I'm wrapping up the Quest app. It's going to be announced and released soon. And honestly, I just want extra to go work on it. So I'm going to give you guys the highlights. Enjoy. Market cap 2.55. That's how you know it'll be a real breakout. You don't see that, Massimo, you already know what to do. Fear and greed, 8. Tell me why we're pumping, but the fear is getting higher. The fear doesn't go off of just retail sentiment. The fear also goes off of market makers. There's some market makers that haven't came back online because of Binance. Follow the FUD, follow the money. You end up in some sick places, and you end up realizing that CZ was a criminal after all. A criminal that was, through bipartisan regulatory like nonsense, right? Because everyone's going to blame it on Trump or whoever. But the sad reality is the U.S. government and the billions of dollars they obtained from that fool. But more so, you did a deal with the devil. Remember who outed FTX? Who started the process in getting FTX revealed was CZ. Elon put the nail on the coffin because he just smelled poor. It was crazy. How can you be poor when you're running $1 billion exchange? Well, that's because it wasn't his, and they were trading customers' money, and that guy had nothing because he was such a bad trader. They knew they could liquidate him and cause this massive bear market that we witnessed before, right? And everyone blames it on FTX, but was it? It was a run at the bank. The fear's rising. Be careful, guys. Altcoin season went from 38 to 31 again. How can that be possible when we pump? Just ask yourself these questions. You'll land yourself with where the liquidation flows are at. I know on the time frames, homie asked in the TG, right? Let me just kind of go address some of his question real fast because I did read it. So I'm gonna go back and obviously if you're in the TG, then you would have saw it. But essentially, let me see, where is he? Sorry, guys. I'm just opened up the TG. Anyway, so the question is, can I get a breakdown how you incorporate the heat map? Like which time frame? Let me see. And what's the indicator for trading view that shows the liquidation? I don't use it. It clusters up my charts. I try using it before. I don't know what the name is. As far as a heat map, you want to time the time frames with the biggest of time frames always. I look at liquidation maps on the 1 day, the 3 day, and the 1 week. It really gives you what market makers are looking for. Market makers aren't looking for just what the day's move is going to be. They're planning their move sometimes weeks in advance, month handles in advance. So as liquidation maps start becoming more juicy, more heat, more liquidity starts building, you start basically warning them when the pot's right. Look at it like bingo. No one's going to win bingo until there's X amount of players. Like imagine if you ran a Ponzi like that. I look at the liquidation map kind of like a bingo event. You're bound to get a number right. They're bound to go grab one of those numbers. The question is now, how do I correlate that? Well, I then use my 21 to 200 back to 21 strategy. I do a lot of things like that to really understand in between time frames, and you can change the liquidation map to the smaller time frames and then know which part of the sequence you're in on the 21 or the 200 back to the 21. On the 15-minute, you could be looking at an incoming pump, but then you go to a 4 hour and you know it's followed by there's more liquidity to the downside. So you have to just find confluence like with anything else. But the closest thing I can explain so you understand is that look at it like the EMAs. The more liquidity that tends to line up at a specific area, the more you know they're going to go there. And it tends to be the thickest, juiciest, most amazing area filled with yum yums. It's typically at those 200 EMAs. And they don't always go there exactly right before it. So that's where the 170 comes in. But oftentimes they'll blow past through your 200s, especially if you're looking at the 1 hour, for example, and there was a pump that was called on your 1 hour and you long or you bought spot, whatever, you nailed it to perfection. But then you failed to recognize that the 6 hour chart, which was ending in 2 hours, so you went through two 1 hour candles, the 6 hour candle flipped, and then you failed to recognize because you didn't check it that the 6 hour candle had juicy liquidations towards the downside that there's no reason for the market maker to ignore. Look at it as an order of events, tasks that can be dynamic, that you can attack in a unit as a group and grouping. Like, hey, over the next 12 hours, or let's just say the market makers say for today, we're going to target these 6 time frames, right? Because they're cleaning up house on their way to the monthly time frames. So that's why I always give you all the big time frame. And that's a little insight into how I use the liquidation maps and how they just absolutely become part of just my strategy and how I like just cook with them and just make some money. It's freaking awesome. Learn how to do it, guys, and it's definitely gonna be very beneficial. Very beneficial. Let's replace this with trading view now. And let's freaking run it, baby. So you guys already know we started with the with the total cap of crypto, and we're going to smooth our way over to the CME. We're going to reset like we always do. Then we're going to realize, man, freaking clutch, right? No, I don't mean me, clutch. I mean the chart's just looking clutch. A nice little bottom followed by a higher low. What did I say? Respect the CME gaps. CME gap. We waiting on that. Damn, those songs be slapping. But if you understand the lyrics, you start realizing how we make money. We make money by doing what the chart is, where the chart is heading versus just where the chart is telling us it's going to go. We know it's going to head down further. There's still a whole ton of bearish momentum left before this thing finds a bottom. If this thing doesn't recover above that gap quick, fast, and in a hurry, the 8, 21, and 50 EMAs are coming quickly on the weekly. But again, the weekly closes, so those charts, the candles move slower. So to catch a drift of what I'm saying, we're going to go to the 5 and 3 day. And notice how the 5 day looks exactly like the 1 week. That's because for the CME, a 5 day chart is the 5 days it's open before it closes. So keep that in mind. You're doing nothing by changing from the weekly to the 5 day. So going to the 3 day chart is where the juiciness that I'm talking about gets there, guys. So look at this, dude. Like, if you ever enjoy, like, or no, or think, man, why has Clutch just been right so much? And that's because I mix time frames. I look at the biggest of time frames, and so many times I catch things like this 5 day chart with the 3 day chart. That time frame for all the EMAs to come down towards the 200, it's no different than this 21 heading and crossing under the 200. So I can really see the 21 doing this. And disregard, I'm on the freaking trackpad. Don't judge me. I am special needs when it comes to drawing anyways. But look at this. You guys remember how I always draw my predictive lines and I really start, juicing up some stuff. So I can see kind of us going here, wicking or something, followed by the drop. Right? You guys kind of get the idea. The intercept of these EMAs at the open, at the CME gap, at the open gap is starting to make sense. When you look at the daily, that's us rejecting either the 21 or the 50. I can see us going right to the 21, blow past it. We think we're back, and then it starts wicking. And on the next candle, you get what? The freaking pullback. And you get what? Oh, the 21. Notice how it all lines up. Intra chart. This is why you need with a mouse, so much better and effective. Don't be special needs like me, but I'm not here to teach you how to design and draw. I don't need to draw that. I just see it because that's how I roll. I'm crazy like that, but you're not. Draw the freaking lines, make them make sense, and you can even hide them. You don't want this freaking box here, but you want to know it's there. Click the little buttons to hide them. Look at this, hide it. That easy. But know it's there. When you're doing your TA, when you're entering a trade, what's a few minutes of like looking deeper, to really figure out what's going on? So, when I start looking at the 4-hour chart, everything just starts making sense, and why we just felt like the bottom is a temporal bottom, but we have to go grab liquidity here. People are bullish. Look, the bulls are taking over, but look who's buying, guys. Martyrs. See the white rabbit? Institutions, market makers, retail ain't buying. You start seeing it speed up on the 2-hour. Now let's go to Bitcoin on Binance here, so you guys can get the idea. Let's go to the 2-hour. Yeah, white people the white line, not white people. I meant people enjoyers of the white rabbit, this white line. If you know how to trade it, you realize when retail wakes up, they give you quick pumps and you get these longs. Boom, always juicy. And now look, the bulls took over the blue line. Here, let's zoom in a little bit for you. Right? So, like, you can start catching these little plays. And on the 2 hour Bitcoin futures on Binance, looks like this is about to happen. Check this out. And then you take just like how many candles from here to there, but we're gonna go there, right? So then you just take your bar. Again, we're on 2 hour candles. So from here, you go to the end of it. Look at that. Let's just say 36 bars. That's 72 hours. Within the next 3 days, it should touch the 200. With every 2 hour candle that passes, the top gets smaller and smaller. Check this out. One more bar. One more bar. You look at the bars just flying. So if we don't quickly hit that 200, right? Because you want to see us like blow through it, right? So usually what happens though, what we want to see, you see this 8 about to go over the 50, the 21 will then follow. So I can see it just following the 8 till it meets it there and falls with it, right? So you see, this is what I would be looking at. And if it's going to follow the 8 to these levels, then typically the candles will end up anywhere here. Okay? So when you're looking at that, then you go do your 4-hour chart. Ah, look at my box. Notice how I went higher, but notice how my box is the 4-hour 200 pretty much. By the time it meets it, right? If it does, right? The 200 is going to be down here. Let's go look at the 6 hours. Sorry. Huh, look at that. It's the gap. Again, 200s, everything pointing down. So that's the important thing to really pay attention here. Look at this M with the 8. Yeah, I can see that. Notice how the 200 on the 2 hour is the 50 on the 8 hour. Easy math, right? It's pretty cool. 12. Look at that, right at the 50, that box. Look at all the resistance at that box I drew, right at the 21, right at the open gaps, right? Because the CME gap is right above us right there. This isn't the CME, but you get the drill, right? Anyways, this is a good little, you're welcome. Here, I'll leave it on there. Screw it. We'll see what it looks like on Monday. I'll leave it on there. Let's do this. Go to the daily. Sorry, guys. Anyways, I got to give you a little quick little TA lesson. And that drop down would confirm kind of like this M and next leg down. So, yeah, I'm going to save my chart. Let's go to Pumpy Dumpy, guys. Same things with these charts, right? You got to go. So we identified the 2-hour as an area of interest because of all the upcoming bullishness. Notice how on the 2-hour, now you see the opposite bearishness on USDT. On Pumpy Dumpy chart, it's opposite. When this chart pumps, your bags dump. When this chart is dumping, this is why you're seeing pumps in the market. Couple things to be mindful of. This low and this low are similar, but this is higher. You need to follow and lose structure. So you need to head towards this 200, right? Where I can see the top being. So in seeing that, we haven't touched the 200 since we broke out. And we talked about that at these levels, but we knew it just kind of wasn't over. So you get your spots to play your scalps in between this, right? All of us who are savvy, we're still in on our spot positions on that wick. I know I called IBOT. I know I said many people should probably buy there. So, anyways, so just understanding where we're at here, right? I'm kind of looking, to sell fully, right? You take profits at these perfect spots, but I'm looking to really start taking profits if we hit this 200 on the 2 hour, because from there, that just means it's the 200 on all these charts. And every time we've have just been using this 200 EMA, even when we go below it, we've been using it just to go up only. Up one, we went up one leg because we went from the bottom zone to this zone, right? This pocket. It's just like one leg, pull back, one leg. Yeah, pullback is imminent. So that's why we buy. So pull back, and then that just looks like that third leg to really test all-time high for USDT. I'm not sold that we're done until we test that all-time high. Look at the daily. So if you start looking at all this on the day, actually, we need to look at it on the monthly so it doesn't look as bad. Check this out. Look how close we are to an all-time high, guys. We're not there. We're printing more and more money, more and more stables constantly. Remember, you guys kept saying, oh, it's bullish. The ecosystem kept saying it was bullish because it kept printing money. USDC just printed another billion, another 100 mil, another 400 mil, and everyone was bullish. Oh, they need buyers. They need money for the buyers. No, they needed money for the sellers that were coming, and they knew a long time prior to that. And they just kept printing money this whole time right here. I knew it because of those reasons. And because of this reason that I'm telling you, we will retest Toyota and ramen territory, but it's still in the process of this. I think this candle going red is going to be hard now. We got 2 weeks left, and we haven't really eaten too much of this wick. But however, if it looks like this candle here, right? Boom, that's good. We're going to get a very good pullback soon. And that'll be my next good short once I realize within the next 2-3 weeks, right, heading towards the next candle, you're going to know it's going to happen, right? But you see how we got this little wick up pump right there back in 2022, meaning another big dump. Yeah, I think there's one last little, sequence here, but you're going to notice this sequence that happened. I'm going to show you guys. Boom, 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 boom. Let's paint it white. Okay, check this out, guys. It gets fun. Ha! What do you frickin' know? It's in the midst of that given measured move, right? Look at just, I wasn't exactly accurate, but I was not that inaccurate. So I just see those tested new all-time highs. And then on the next one, look how it lines up with the Ponzi that crypto is, because just like any other financial term, but look at that lifetime trend, right? It just ends up going right frickin' to it. Look. Look at this. Can't make this up. TA isn't everything, but it sure as heck is a lot. So now you guys see where I kind of got this little play from, how I look at previous, things in a different way, but we start understanding what's at play here. And what's at play is we need to trap a lot of liquidity. Longs and shorts are going to get cooked here, because whoever long here is going to get shaken out on all these before the massive freaking dump, meaning you weren't in on the long. So for me, I try to catch it with spots. So I just accumulate. Anything I accumulate on Wix at 8-9%, you're freaking kidding. Please. Those are the levels you want to buy. Not down here where everybody just kept telling you to buy. Everyone for months. Now everyone's telling you to sell. Stop it. With leverage, it's dangerous. Spot. You can't get liquidated. Just be mindful on all these freaking pumps. This big old monthly pop, you can go to the 4 hour Look at that big old wick we see from there to here. But realistically, dude, we're trading in a freaking perfect range to be buying and aping and selling and, constantly all of that. So just be mindful of that and you should be good. Solana, we knew was front running a lot of the plays. So was Ethereum, and we're gonna go check it out. 3-day, okay. Crossing happens, Solana's holding on. 5-day, all crossing is kind of starting to happen. And what happens before crosses to the downside? They grab liquidity. But notice a wick, lower wick. What's going to happen here soon? Very, very close to seeing a potential big play here. Weekly will tell you, and sure enough, the 12 just went under the 200. The 21 is coming. The 50 is coming. They're going to meet. I feel those little liquidity grabs and pumps. It's lining up on Solana as well. Ethereum should line up similar. Ooh, and my battery's at 10%. Perfect timing. 5-day incoming pain for Ethereum. Notice it's front running Bitcoin, but not as much as Solana. But the 3-day's coming. 21 or the 50's about to cross under the 200. You're seeing a lot of sauciness on these charts. They're just closing gaps, value gaps. But the reality is, a lot of this is sequential. Follow the sequences, baby. And that's trade talk. And I got 10%. I don't want my PC to die. So unless anybody has a very quick take, anything they want to say before I wrap this up, just make it quick, please. If your sentiment lines up with mine, is it different? Just go right ahead.
Look at you. I've been talking about in the TG a little bit.
Yeah, we could talk about that in the TG. That's fine. I'll post some charts and all that, but I'm gonna keep the show short a little because I got stuff to do. I'm launching this app, baby. We're releasing.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
Likely, so I just want to get to that. I mean, Uni,
Well, yeah,
I'm guessing it's pumping, right?
Yeah, it's pumping. I mean, I've been looking to short around the 2 hour 200. I think is what I said in the TG. Maybe the 1 hour 200 is what I said. Now that I'm looking at it, but yeah, pumping. Looking to get short on.
Okay, let me look at Uni real quick. Uni swap, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's go to the 30. Oh, that's short. Look at that short that already happened. Ouch.
Well, yeah, we got a little piece of that one.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, look at it. It did form the double bottom. So, yeah, it's just lining up with the market pump. This is definitely one that can give you very good value to short as soon as Bitcoin is done pumping. Lines up with it. Cool. Anything else, anybody? Alex? No? Okay, good. Sounds good.
No, I'm dying, man. Jeez. No, fuck.
Yeah, I know. The market bleeding sucks for many. But for me, I get to work and I buy, deploy capital at the bottoms and slang it and buy it, slang it and buy it. It's the Forest Quant life, baby. Shout out to Buddy for a dope song. But as always, guys, appreciate y'all being here. You could have been anywhere else. We definitely show up to help you scale into becoming a better trader. It's hard to do it overnight, but we absolutely cook, baby. Great rest of your day. I'll catch you around. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy Valentine's Day with your loved one, your spouse, and the rest, man, just don't get liquidated. Stay in control of your port by knowing what the charts are going to do, baby.
Written in these charts like a precision drill. No luck here, just timing and will. Seeing me gaps still bleed and chill.
Forest on mute, but the numbers kill. Novex finance, cold and still. Trade talk loud, no cap, no fill. Coming in clutch when the screen get ill. Mr. Clutch, keep me calm when I overfill. Just clutched me calm when I overfell. Left eye on the chart, right eye on pain. Hand steady like a sniper in rain. Forced breath cold, hard and chains. Every wicked lesson, every loss a gain. I move like data through terrain. Cold my path, never complain. Coffee black, screen on stain. Alpha ain't luck, it's strange domain. Deeper and deeper, candle to tangle. Price and chaos, it's like you don't handle. Deeper and deeper, candle to candle. Price and chaos, it's a battle handle. Deeper and deeper, candle to candle. Price and chaos, it's a battle handle. Novex knows in the fog we march. Trade lines etched like bark on arch. Coming in clutch, ain't a phrase is charged. Miss a clutch, pray while the ticks discharge. Reading these charts like a precision drill. No luck here, just timing and will. Seeing me gaps still bleeding, chill. Voice on mute, but the numbers kill. Deeper and deeper, candle to candle. Price and chaos, it's a battle handle. Deeper and deeper, candle to candle. Price and chaos, it's a battle handle. Reading these charts like a precision drill. No luck here, just timing and will. Seeing me gaps still bleed and chill. Force on mute, but the numbers kill. Novex finance, car is still. Reading these charts like a precision drill. No luck here, just timing and will. Seeing me gaps still bleed and chill. Force on mute, but the numbers kill. Reading these charts like a precision drill. No luck here, just timing and will. Seeing me gaps still bleed and chill. Force on mute, but the numbers kill. Deeper, heartbeat sync with the trend line. Blood on the chart, there's a deadline. I see fear in their eyes through the headline. They ain't quant, they just scroll timeline. I keep math like ammo, cold precise. Entry points measure, exit twice. Silence the noise, pay the price. One bad click, you sacrifice. Algorithm twitch in the moonlight gleam. Trade talk space ain't just a stream. It's a war room brief with the alpha team. Coming in clutch, we redefine dream. We redefine dream. Reading these charts like a precision drill. No luck here, just timing and will. Seeing me gaps still bleeding chill. Forced on mute, but the numbers kill. Novex wins like a precision drill. No luck here, just timing and will. Seeing me gaps still bleeding chill. Forced on mute, but the numbers kill. Deeper, deeper. Drill till the chart bleeds order. Deeper, drill till the chart bleeds order. Deeper and deeper, candle to candle. Discipline's the weapon.